I'm CRB and this is the CRB Show. Today I'm doing penguin meet and greet at West Edmonton Mall. I can't wait to meet the penguin. So what's his name?
This guy's name is Skadoo.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
Okay, and then I'm going to have him sit on your lap now. So basically I'll show you what it's going to look like. He's going to sit right here. You're going to kind of hold his wings, or you can hold his belly and just pet him on the back here. Good boy. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Good boy.
So soft.
Good boy. I'm going to just feed him just because he doesn't know you. So we like to reinforce him with fish to tell him he's doing a really good job. But he doesn't want, he had his breakfast already. Good boy. What does he feel like?
Fuzz. Almost like velvet.
Exactly. So he has about 100 to 150 feathers per thumb print area. So he's basically wearing a big sweater all the time.
Wow.
Good
So
boy. Do a little gray. And yeah, he's a very furry guy. Okay. Okay, so do you know anything about penguins?
Not really, no.
No? So this guy, he is an African penguin, and his name is Skadoo. He is 24 years old, which is pretty old for a penguin. So in the wild, they live about 15 to 20. He's very cute. And that's because they're kind of like the chicken nuggets of the ocean. So they have lots of predators out there, and so he has to have ways to protect himself. The first one being his color. So he's sporting, our traditional, penguin tuxedo, and that's because of his environment. So if you think about it, he's going to be swimming in the ocean kind of like this. Where can the predators come from? It can come from the top, it can come from the bottom. So the back of him is black because all the predators come from the top. They see the bottom of the ocean, so it's really dark and murky. So he's trying to blend in with the environment. And then the bottom of him is nice and light here because it's trying to look like the clouds or the sunshine. So it makes it really hard to spawn him between like the water and what is actually in the ocean. So it's a really cool way for him to protect himself. But he has a lot of cool adaptations for being in the water. So the first one is kind of like you might be able to see it right now when you're up and close, is that he has a third eyelid. So we have two. We got our upper, we got our lower, and he's got a third one that kind of goes over like a windshield wiper. And that one is called a nictitating membrane. So it's nice and clear. So he's always looking in the ocean because he's got lots of predators, there's a lot of fish, so he doesn't want to have to close his eyes every like 3 seconds. He's going to have it open so he can look for all those things in the ocean. And that way the salt water doesn't hurt his eyes either. So most of the time, they don't close their eyes during the daytime. They will close them though at night when they're sleeping. So they will use their eyelids for communication too. So sometimes they'll squint at each other, and that's kind of them telling like, I like you, and they'll squint at each other. They'll do a lot of other mating behaviors when they're telling each other, and so that's when you hear their noises, what we call a bray. They're also known as the donkey penguin because they sound like a donkey when they're trying to flirt with all the other penguins.
That's funny.
Yeah.
His beak looks like wood.
Yeah, so that is a lot of people ask us about that. So he has something called hyperkeratinization. So that is very normal in these types of penguins. There has been a lot of documented cases. It doesn't hurt him. It's a genetic thing. It just causes his beak to grow too fast, kind of like a beaver. So they're made out of the same stuff as our fingernails. So it grows in little layers. So if you think about it, he's going to be growing it a lot. So that's why it kind of looks like wood, because his just grows too fast and he can't wear it down. Do you see any knees on him?
No.
Yeah, that's because he's walking on his tippy toes.
What?
Yeah. So his knees are actually way up in his belly up here.
No way.
Yeah, so it's like he's walking on a squat and he's walking on his tippy toes. So can you imagine? He's probably kind of clumsy, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's why their beaks are made that way, so that little pieces can chip off without breaking their beak. Because if you imagine like an eagle, if they broke their beak, they probably couldn't eat anymore. And because they're kind of clumsy and they live in really rocky places, they have had this beak so that they can survive where they live.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about him?
I do actually. What makes it so that he's black and white in the first place?
Yeah, so that would be his skin cells. So just like us, we have cells inside of our hair and all over our body that makes us that way. So he has different types of cells in his skin on his back versus his stomach that make him this black and white. And the reason why they all kind of chosen this is because if there was penguins that had the opposite colors, they probably would have gotten eaten. So all the ones that have the black on the back and the ones that have white on the stomach are the ones that survive. And that's why most penguins have these colors. The only exception is our little fairy blue penguin down here. They live in Australia. They're our smallest penguin. They're super cute. But they have a blue color, and that's probably because they live more in reef areas where the water is a little bit brighter and clear and more blue. And so they have a more blue color instead of a black color. Pretty much all the other penguins are black and white.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is that red and green thing on this look?
Yeah, so that's kind of like his little ID badge. Oh, he's flirting with me now. So it's kind of like us, how we have like our passports and it tells us who we are. That's kind of like his ID. So Scadu here, if he ever was to fly to another zoo or to another aquarium, they would want to know who he is. So that's why we put those little bands on. Or if you ever visit us again, you'll know it's him because he's the only one with the Christmas colored bands on him. So he's the only one that's green and red. And a lot of scientists actually use this when they're banding birds in the wild to identify the same individual over and over again. But he has something really cool on him. I'll show you. So he's got these little belly spots on him. And so those are just like our fingerprints. So they're individual to him. Yeah, they sneeze a lot, these guys, because they don't swallow fresh water when they're drinking. They're swallowing salt, and too much salt in your body can make you really, really sick. So what they do is they collect all that salt in their nose and they kind of sneeze it out. So they have really salty boogers, and it's really gross.
That was a sneeze?
That was a little sneeze, so they kind of just shake it out.
That's funny.
Yeah, so those little spots are his individual identifier. So that's how a lot of scientists will identify them. Okay, so we're about to do a painting with Scadu. You're going to choose one of these canvases here, and we're going to choose 2 to 3 colors here, and he's going to walk through the paint over this canvas. These are a baby-safe paint, so they're technically edible, and they're safe for penguins too. You want to choose what canvas you would like. We have a plain white one, and then a bunch of cool ones here.
Did the penguin just poop?
Yes, he did. So penguins poop every 5 to 10 minutes, so you definitely don't want them in your house because you'd be cleaning up all day. Ready? It's kind of gross. Which one would you like?
I have. I don't know. Yeah. This one?
Yeah, of course. And then do you know what colors you wanted? These ones at the front are shiny, and then the rest of them are a matte color. So just kind of like this yellow.
Okay. May I please have the red and the orange from the front, and then the one in the middle and the back?
This one?
Yes,
No problem.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna look very pretty.
He's a great, fantastic for this one.
That's awesome.
Okay. So these guys are also endangered. Do you know what that means?
So there's not very many of them?
Exactly. So they say that these guys are going to go extinct in the next 30 to 40 years, which is really sad. And that's because of overfishing. So things that we can do to help these guys is to reduce our fish intake, or look for things like ocean wise, which will have a little fish symbol on your fish, just saying that it is sustainably sourced. So that way it's not harming any of the other predators in the ocean.
That's good.
Yeah. We're also part of a breeding program where we trade penguins between different zoos and aquariums, so that when they have babies, that one day when the environment's a little bit better, we can actually start releasing them into the wild.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions about the penguins? I know he's really cute.
How much would you say the penguins eat every day?
Yeah, so that depends on the size of the penguin. So he's a little bit on the medium size. He's a little bit slimmer. So he eats about 10 to 15 fish in a day, whereas our bigger penguins might eat like 20 to 25. But when they're about to molt, they gain a lot of weight, so they can double their size. So when he was molting, he looked like a big football because he got so fat because they stopped eating, they lose all their feathers, and they look really sad when it's happening. They look really like they don't like all my feathers dropping because they don't look very pretty when it's happening. And then they'll regrow all their feathers and then they look really pretty afterwards. And then they have to re-oil their feathers. Are you ready?
Yep.
Scadu. Good boy. Good boy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Scadu. Good boy. Let's get you before you get into the poop over here. Ooh, we're gonna get painted. Just gonna wait for this to. You're making a mess. Scadu. Good boy. I'm just gonna dabble you a little bit, okay? Scadu. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I'm gonna turn it this way for you. Get some more of that blue in there. Good boy. Scadu. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Penguins are so cute.
Yeah. Do you want any more on there? Do you like it how it is?
I think I like it how it is.
Perfect. I'm just going to place it over here. Actually, I'm going to give that to you because I think Raz is going to take you now.
Thank
That's
you.
for you to dry. No problem.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. And thank you, Scotty. Thank you.
Problem. You had lots of fun today.
I hope so.
Good boy. Good boy. I never ever really tried to bite to hurt. He was always just like a little pig. Stranger danger. Good boy. Good boy. Little fish. Scadu. Good boy. Good boy. Oh. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. And hold his belly just to support him a little bit. There we go. Good
How much does he weigh?
So he weighs about 3 to 4 kilograms. So that's about maybe 6 to 8 pounds. He's like, he wants to be with the fish lady right now. Good boy. So yeah, he weighs about 3 to 8 pounds, these guys. So he's a little bit on the smaller side. Another fish. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
What is his favorite food?
So his favorite food.
Good
Good boy.
Don't want the penguin face planting.
He wants to be on the floor to make a nest. That's what he's trying to do. Good boy. I didn't think I'd become a bird.
That was so awesome. Penguins are so cute. I've never seen one in person before that's not behind glass.
Hi there, my name is Raza and I'm one of the education facilitators here. I'm going to take you guys on a tour to our behind the scenes area. And we're going to check out invertebrates found right on our coastline, like sea stars and sea cucumbers. And then we're also going to go right up to the top of the aquarium to feed all of our sea turtles. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
All right, awesome, let's get started. Okay, let's go. So you can follow me this way. We're gonna go through a few hallways, so just watch out your step as well. We're gonna go through areas with lots of puddles. And of course, we're gonna see animals that live in water too. And if you have any questions at all, you can ask me whatever you like. I know a fair bit about the animals, so if you have very challenging questions, I really like them too. All right, let's head on down.
Okay.
Our dive area. This is where our divers set up to go underwater. We have them for a few purposes. They actually are going to clean out the tanks. They're also going to make sure that the animals are healthy, so they do medical checkups on them. And actually they do feeds as well. So sometimes they will actually go right into the water and hand feed our sharks and also our sea turtles. Later on, we're going to open up some more of our old programming where we're going to have the sea turtles stationed at places where the presidents are down in Sea Life Caverns. And then we're also going to get the sharks to swim around and get hand fed too, like a Sharknado style. That's one of our popular presentations.
Yay!
All right,
Awesome.
now before we head on over, we're going to get you to just rinse off your hands.
This is so great. I'm Nemo. Fishy! There's another fishy Nemo. So many fishies. Fishy!
So we've got lots of different animals in here, and they all have the same relation to each other, minus that fish, of course. All of them have no bones in their body, and a few of them are actually related together. You can see 3 of them that are the sea cucumber, our sea urchin, and sea stars. A lot of people wonder how they're related. They actually have 5 equal parts. It's very easy to see on the sea star. They've got 5 arms. When we talk about the sea urchin, they've got 5 equal slices, kind of like a cake. And then when we talk about the sea cucumber, they have 5 equal strips of muscle going down their body. These animals are echinoderms, and they actually are some of the most important creatures found in our oceans. The sea urchin here is actually very important for controlling plant growth. They are kind of like lawnmowers. They actually use their bottom teeth and their mouth here to munch away at different aquatic plants. I'm going to bring one of them out and show you a little bit closer view. So this one right here is a green sea urchin, and they're found along Canada's coastlines, including the north. A lot of people know them for their spikes, but what they don't know is that those spikes are actually on a ball point. So they actually rotate around freely. Underneath their body, they use their spikes to move. So they use them kind of like stilts for legs. And if you want, you can go ahead and touch it. Be careful though, it is a little pokey. But these green sea urchins have another name. They're known as the hedgehogs of the sea. Yeah. Now, there is a little bit of a concern with these green sea urchins. It is different for each species. Like for instance, purple sea urchins are endangered to algal blooms. But green sea urchins, they have been decimating our kelp forests. And a lot of that is a result of the lack of their predators. For instance, sea otters, sharks, and sea lions. Those animals help to control these populations, but due to a lot of different aspects like overfishing and pollution, a lot of their populations have been diminishing. And so these green sea urchins are eating all the kelp, the forests. Now, what they do is they actually just eat the bottom of the base of the plant. Kelp is actually a very long strand of a leaf, and it grows at 1.5 meters every day. And you want to know something crazy? We get 70% of the oxygen that we breathe from aquatic plants. And so when we lose kelp, we're losing a large oxygen resource. So these guys are a little bit of a concern. But of course, the more that we learn, the more that we can appreciate things. Now you can check out the mouth on the bottom too. This is called an Aristotle's lantern. It's got 5 rows of teeth, and it munches away at different veggies. So those, they do have teeth, or kind of like bone structures. But majority of their body is just a carapace called a test. And it's just like a kind of like an exoskeleton. But everything inside is goopy and mushy. Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to put them right back into the water. Now, of course, they're related to other types of animals that we have in here. And I'll bring one more out. And actually, I feel like it's the best example of an invertebrate. It's these sea cucumbers. They use the water to keep their shape. So right on the side here, you can see that it looks spiky. But when it comes out of the water, you're going to see that after a while, those spikes are going to be reduced. That's because it uses the water to keep its shape. If you go in for a swim, you might notice that it's actually quite easy to float in water because of the buoyant forces. But outside of the water, gravity starts acting on it, and it starts to look more mushy. They're actually mainly made of water, so a lot of these parts are filled with water internally. And sea cucumbers are some of the most important animals out there. They actually help to clean out different parts of the ocean. They take different poop and different decaying matter inside the sand, and of course they scoop sand with them, and then they poop out clean sand. And actually they also help with the acidity in the ocean too. If you have heard about coral bleaching, that is the result of high acidity and emissions of CO2 entering our atmosphere. And it's been affecting these sea cucumbers and different animals, but these sea cucumbers specifically have a byproduct that helps to make the water more basic. So these guys are very important for different reasons out there. And actually, if you've ever been to any beach in the world, half that sand went through a sea cucumber just like this. And they come in different sizes too. The biggest one is 10 feet long. All right, if you want to feel it, go for it.
Oh, it feels like slime.
A little bit. Okay, now we're going to quickly rinse our hands again, and then we'll come right back over here. And then I'm going to pass out the food for the sea turtles, and we'll head on up. So come on over.
Yes. I love turtles.
Alright, so I'm going to pass out the food for feeding our sea turtles. Today we're going to be feeding them lettuce. Of course, they have a wide variety of foods that we offer. We feed them the different types of veggies, like bok choy, bell peppers, some of their favorites. But today we've got lettuce. And for this, I do have a few rules. Just make sure to hold on to it tight. And if you do drop it, just let me know. I just don't want to feed our sea turtles any dirty food. But of course, make sure to not throw it yet. We're going to throw it all together all at once so we can get it all inside the water and we can watch them all feast. We've got 3 sea turtles up there. So if you guys want some pieces too, I can pass it around. There you go. Now, I have another important rule. I don't want anybody eating the lettuce. I know it looks really yummy, but we're trying to feed sea turtles today.
I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm not too big on
I have another important rule. I just don't want anybody dangling the lettuce or trying to touch the sea turtles under the rails. They do know you have food and they can bite our fingers off. We actually have to wear chainmail when we feed them, just in case for that very notion. They actually have serrated beaks, not teeth, but they're strong enough to bite through some of your fingers.
I was swimming with sea turtles in Hawaii once. Do you think it'll be the same type of turtle?
Oh, that's a very good question. Over in Hawaii, there's actually a bunch of different types of sea turtles that come right out onto the beaches there. But it's very specific to those turtles in that area. They don't actually tend to do that often. Only females will ever come out of the water to lay their eggs. But only in Hawaii, they've noticed this strange behavior for the sea turtles coming out to bask in the sun. But there's green sea turtles and loggerheads out there. But today we're going to be seeing some green sea turtles. So everybody watch your head too. There's low-hanging ceilings and there's uneven surfaces. So just keep an eye out. And come on in to the largest aquarium in Western Canada with 600,000 gallons of water. Come on all the way down. And you can see some of our sea turtles are already up here feasting. But I'm going to throw some into the water to get them over here. Here you go, guys. So we've got 3 green sea turtles, and they all have some extraordinary backstories. So the 2 you see right here are brothers. They are about 27 years old. This one is blue, and this one is our largest sea turtle. Ironically, his name is Minnie. And both of these guys were donations. When they were babies, they were brought over to the University of British Columbia, and they were researching them to learn a little bit about their background. They wanted to learn, of course, their development as they grew, and they wanted to study it. And when they became about 8 years old, they were way too big for the tank over there, so they sent them over here to join Donatello. He's the one way in the bottom there. He's also our oldest sea turtle. Now, how about we entice Donatello to come on up? Everybody ready to throw some lettuce in? Yeah. All right, we're going to throw it very far. Try not to throw it too close. It could get into the gutters. And we're going to try and throw it right on 3, okay? Everybody ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now, like I said, they have beaks, and that's what they use to eat different foods. But they can't swallow the salt water. It's actually too dehydrating. They get a lot of their water from the foods that they eat. So if you notice carefully, you can see Minnie here shooting some out of his nose. And there goes Minnie eating all of the lettuce. Now, Donatello, he's actually our rescue sea turtle. Long time ago, back in 1987, they found Donatello inside the trunk of a car. He was actually inside the wheel well where they keep spare tires, and they were trying to smuggle him across from the US over into Canada. So we basically brought him over here to stay housed, and after a while when they were finished prosecuting that individual, they didn't have another space for him. So he stayed here for his forever home. So Donatello is about 55 years old. We don't know exactly. He's in that ballpark considering he is a rescue. But he's got a long life ahead of him. Now they can live over 120 years, and we just helped release a study that turtles under human care can actually live for even further. Their physiologies actually adapt really well. They have strange ways to stay in the water too. They can actually live 20 plus years if they have round-the-clock vet care and food and enrichment too. Now, there is another thing that's really cool about them. They actually are able to go underwater for up to 5 hours, and they have a special way of doing it. They basically will slow down their heartbeat. So everybody, if you feel your heart, you can probably feel it going thump, thump, thump. When they go underwater, and actually they take naps out in the ocean too, they will go under for 5 hours. So they'll slow down their heartbeat to every 10 minutes. Thump. 10 minutes later, thump. 10 minutes later, thump. That way they can stay underwater for a fairly long time. And actually they have monkey tails too. So these sea turtles, they can use their tails to hold on to corals and rocks. And it's called prehensile. So when they take those naps, they know exactly where they are when they wake up. Unfortunately, sea turtles do have lots of things to face out in the wild. They are an endangered species. They are affected by bycatch. When they see a fish stuck inside some nets, they think of it as good food to access, but they get stuck in them themselves, and they get caught inside. Remember, they can stay underwater for 5 hours, but they can't stay any longer than that. And a lot of them are unfortunately losing their lives. Not only that, plastic pollution is entering our oceans at an alarming rate, and scientists have discovered it is now entering our air as well. So we really need to turn around our ways that we produce it. Otherwise, it's going to keep cycling into the oceans and affecting lots of different animals out in the wild. So make sure to always learn. Actually, being aware is one of the first steps at learning how you can help different animals and different aspects around the ocean, because inevitably it's all going to come right back at us. So if we help the oceans, we'll definitely end up helping ourselves as well and our future generations. All right, everybody, let's head on back down the stairs. We're going to say a final goodbye to the sea turtle. Bye, Minnie.
Bye, turtles. I love turtles.
Bye, Blue.
Bye.
Bye, Donatello.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sea turtles. Let's head on down.
Thank you, Rosa. This was amazing.
All right, awesome. I'm glad you had a lot of fun. And I hope to see you again down in Sea Life Caverns.
Yay.
All right, well, thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a lot of fun down here at Sea Life Caverns. Make sure to check out all the animals and read the exhibits too. You learn a lot from down here.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, see you guys.
Whoa, look at this huge red-footed tortoise. That's awesome. Hey, little buddy. This Solomon Island skink is sleeping. It looks like a little dinosaur. It's so cute. Look. It's adorbs. If you'd like to meet and greet one of the penguins, make sure you check out the description below. Click the link. Look, you can tell by the red and green bands. It's Skidoo at the very top. Look at at the sea anemones. They're so cool. Oh, it's cold. That's cold.
Into it. You see it sticking
These
out
are
there?
painted anemones.
Yeah, that's the vitamin. So I'm gonna, yeah, here.
Ooh, they're sticky.
Take it.
They're sticky and they're cute.
Well, you got it.
Look at the divers behind me. This is the aquarium we were above feeding the sea turtles.
I have things in my head, but I don't.
The sharks look so derpy. Look at those little eyes. Well, here comes one now. It has a few long tusks. Let's see what naughty and nice things the penguins have been doing recently. Dale has been naughty. Apparently, that silly little bugger decided to try and steal the trainer's ID card and pecked another penguin. That's not nice. Yeti is on the nice list because it was a great role model to the younger penguins and has great feeding manners. What a nice penguin.